everybody, Brandon Jones here. I am joined by Mr. Michael Huber.
Hello.
And Mr. Ben Moore.
Hi.
Mr. Daniel Bloodworth and Kyle Bowson are not here because Kyle is on media blackout, like a weirdo for this movie. Even though everybody that can breathe oxygen needs to see this trailer. And Mr. Daniel Bloodworth is completely swamped with review season. He's writing reviews, he's reading reviews, he's working on all sorts of reviews. But I was lucky enough to get these two guys in here because, damn it, we need to talk about this. Apologies for taking a couple days. I was away out of town, but I'm back. This trailer changed my life. We need to talk about it. Let's jump right into it.
Okay.
We've gotten more than 2 trailers. We've gotten like little TV spots or other things, right?
There were 3 teasers.
Okay.
I didn't watch those because I wanted to wait for the full trailer or not watch it at all, kind of like Kyle. But yeah, there have been 3 little teasers building up to this.
One of those was literally just Poe and Finn, like, that shot when he, like, steps out of the X-Wing and he's like, let's do this, you know, that gives him, like, you know, a pat on the shoulder. It was just that shot, and I watched it, like, 40 times, so it's like, this is so exciting. And I mean, maybe we can start there. Like, there are so many things I love about this trailer on so many levels, but, like, one of the things that I think, because a lot of people are telling me now, like, okay, well, we were excited about Episode 1, and it's like, no, I'm getting a completely different vibe from this. That doesn't mean the film is going to be of better quality, but I just love the tone going into this. I didn't like the way Yoda looked in Episode 1. I didn't, you know, Jar Jar gets electrocuted by the pod. Like, there are all sorts of question mark things. Everything here is so serious, is so rooted in the classic trilogy, and is so just absolutely everything that I wanted. I wanted this movie to cover. But specifically, that one shot is one thing I don't think any of the prequels have, which is this overall feeling of like the underdog. You know, it's like Luke going at the Death Star. Like, how is he going to do that? Like, Return of the Jedi, taking that shuttle down and, like, trying to get into that shield generator. It's like, how are they going to pull this mission off? And everything in Episode 1 through 3 was just confidence and bravado and just, like,
Metachlorians.
you know, yeah, metachlorians, and just, like, everyone was royalty and everything was so pretty. And it just, like, I was just never, like, crossing my fingers, like, I hope they do this. Like, when Anakin and Padme are being pulled into the arena in Episode 2, I'm like, I don't care. You know, like, I'm sure they're going to make it out. Whereas with this, like, I don't know, you know, like, we see Rey crying clearly over the body of someone. It's like, who is that? Is that Chewie? Is that Han? Is that Poe? Like, I don't know. There's so much going on here. Before I just, like, you know, explode, Hubert, what do you think?
Yeah, there's a definite sense of urgency to everything. The way the trailer builds with just the slow intro. Like, when she goes into that room, it kind of reminds me of, like, Alien in a way. Just everything looks practical, a big like spatial awareness when she jumps in there, and then everything just builds and builds and builds, and like again just how intimate everything is. The close quarters combat, Millennium Falcon and TIE fighters, everything is just very close and practical.
This trailer, like, this movie has an impossible goal of sort of restoring Star Wars, right? And what I love is there are shots they pick for you to just kind of, your heart to leap, right? With the scene with Han, or with the X-Wings and the TIE Fighters fighting, like, all of that stuff is very deliberately chosen, but I think what you were touching on earlier, like, I care about these new characters, and they just fit so naturally into Star Wars. Like, this trailer has a quality to it where every single element, it just, like, it just gets it. And you were right, like, thinking about the prequel movies, it was like it was an entirely different universe in spots. Like, you're right, everything was so clean. There's clearly, like, this reverence for the series sort of emanating from every aspect of this, but it also feels like it's charting its own path.
Oh my god, yes. The fact that it focuses on the new characters for, like, 90% of it. You know, you have all these veterans, and they're treated like legends in our everyday lives and in this trailer. Like, Han just seems like a legend. Like, Luke isn't nowhere to be found.
Well, like, Han's not, like, Return of the Jedi is my favorite of all the Star Wars films. Like, I recognize it's not the I recognize it's not the greatest. It's my favorite. Like,
no, I love it.
It's the Luke fighting Vader, Yoda dying. Like, you know, like, I even love the Ewoks. I love the whole concept. Like, I love, like, C-3PO being treated like a god. Like, it's just great. But, like, Han phones that movie in. Like, Han's not that great in Return. Like, he just kind of seems very aloof and just like, hey, what do we do? Like, he steps on the twig, and, you know, like, that's what I always wanted. You know, like, he's just like, he doesn't actually pilot the Falcon. Like, Lando's actually the one responsible for destroying the Death Star. But, like, the look of commitment and dedication and the passage of time in his eyes when he's like, "You bet your ass that happened."
Yes.
And it's not only that, but it's like, is he talking about the trilogy or is he talking about stuff I haven't seen? It's been 30 years. You know, like, what could he... Apologies if I'm looking too far into it, but I just can't help but speculate as a trailer and Star Wars fan.
If you're listening to this, Jones is legitimately getting misty-eyed right now.
This is... I mean, it's so funny because, like, I don't... you know, I haven't seen Rebels yet. Like, I didn't watch all of the Clone Wars. You know, like, I don't, like, collect a ton of stuff. I do have, like, Star Wars stuff, but, like, I don't just go overboard on it. So, like, I look at a lot of Star Wars fans. I rarely go to conventions. Like, I don't cosplay. Like, so I look at other Star Wars fans and I think, like, there's got to be, you know, many people in the world that are bigger Star Wars fans than me. And then I watch this trailer and I go, oh, wow. It turns out I'm a huge Star Wars fan. that this is hitting me so deep, you know, that, like, all they have to do is just take an old theme that I'm so familiar with and play it slightly differently, and, like, I'm in tears.
The one thing I wanted to say on this trailer score, I want to echo that sentiment, because Star Wars was the first movie I watched together with my dad, and, like, to this day, like, one of the greatest experiences of my life. Like, he would go to Blockbuster, get the VHS for New Hope. We'd watch New Hope. I was a young kid, and I was like, there are 2 more movies? And so he'd bring them home, and, like, I've never been more excited to do anything in my life than watch Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi with my dad. So there's obviously a lot of sentimentality there. But, like, the last 10 years, like, so much Star Wars stuff has been thrown down my throat. Like, I never feel like Star Wars has been, like, given a break. Like, there's always something new on the horizon, and I'm not commenting on the quality of that stuff, but it's just like the specialness had gone. You know, like, seeing Luke didn't get me excited in the way that it used to. Seeing Han and Chewie together didn't get me excited the way that it used to. This trailer, like, it is the first time I felt this way since I was watching those movies with my dad. I don't know what sort of magic they're doing, but it somehow came through.
I definitely want to bring that up too, because it is special. This is the one, Episode 7. After this, a movie a year. Like, Episode 7, The Force Awakens, this is the magical time. This is the one. Like, looking to the future, you know, I'm worried about that.
Yeah.
Just losing its specialness. Like, this is a moment in time right now.
Yeah, I agree.
But, I mean, you mentioned, you know, kind of where we're at right now, like, existing between these two worlds. Like, there's the younger generation and there's the older generation, like the people that, you know, saw Star Wars in the theaters in 1977.
What is a young Star Wars fan like?
And that's what really strikes me about the opening of this film, is that, like, she's excavating a Star Destroyer. You know, like, she's going deep within the bowels of this ruined ship from the classic trilogy, and she doesn't really know what it is.
Right.
You know, like, she doesn't know, like, where it came from. Like, she's like, I've heard these stories, but I don't really know anything. Like, Han himself is a relic. I just think that's such a fascinating way to open the film and open everything, where it's just kind of like, let's go through this whole Star Wars thing and see what we got. You know, like, let's dust off the cobwebs and, like, reinvigorate the series. I think that's, like, a direct commentary on just kind of, like, you know, you seeing just the wreckage. I mean, you just kind of were saying before, like, this movie's got to save Star Wars, and so, like, to me, there's symbolism there. That's just kind of, this is where the series is at right now. You know, it's like, this is what Disney got when they bought the property, and they're like, okay, what do we do with all of this? How do we find worth in this again? I cannot emphasize enough, because I am telling you, no one does it, to take old music and rewrite it, and take these old themes and play 2 notes of the main theme and the ending, and until the 3rd note hits, I didn't know what they were playing. I was like, oh, what's this thing? Oh my god, they're slowing it down. You know, it's like
John Williams.
The parallel of someone obviously telling, I'm assuming Finn, telling him, let it in, let the Force in, like just, you know, like listen to your feelings, listen to these changes that are happening to you, but obviously the connection to, just, I know you're excited, let it happen. You know, like, just let it in, just enjoy it, because that's what we did, that's what the writer did, that's what the actors did, that's what Abrams did, that's what everybody did. 9.6. I mean, this is just fantastic. I think my major criticisms are they show a couple shots from the old trailer, which bums me out. There's, like, the chopping the tree shot where he swings his thing down, when he spins around and holds his hand up, and then there's Luke with R2. Which just, it doesn't, you know, when he says, like, the Jedi, they're real, it's great to see Luke in that moment, and it makes me wonder if, like, that's the only Luke shot in the whole movie, or if the only other shot's just too spoilery for them to show. But that's always just, that just takes it down a little bit. Like, it would be, if this was all new, this would be in danger of being a 10.
In danger.
That takes it up for me, because I want that moment to happen in the movie theater. So for all intents and purposes, this is a perfect trailer for me personally. No spoilers. It's the least spoilery trailer I've practically ever seen. It gives nothing away. I give this trailer a 10.0. Flawless.
I knew I was in for it when I brought Hebrew.
Yep.
I'm gonna give it a 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
it's perfect.
I'm
It's
voting
so
with
perfect.
I'm voting with my heart here because you're totally right. I agree. When I saw those old shots, it did bring it down a little bit, but any trailer, right, that can get me so worked up,
Emotional
and just
tears.
this is an
Without-
event.
yeah,
this is
without
a landmark moment.
To somehow make us more excited for a new Star Wars movie. It's a real testament, especially after the prequel trilogies and kind of the baggage associated with that. People are a little more skeptical, like you were talking about, the magic is gone. To get us this emotional and this excited and hyped for Star Wars is just unbelievable.
When you have something that's magical and then you've got like 2 decades of that magic just being pillaged and sold to you in like 1,000 different packages, and then someone comes along and says, "No, wait, there's still something here." Like that is a miraculous feat. You know, like almost nothing can do that.
And I love that, like my my wife, God love her, went to see Revenge of the Sith with me and was like, okay, like I think it came out like just after we like started dating, and she saw that with me in the theaters. And when I showed her this, when it cut to the shot of Rey, right? Rey's the gal, Finn's the Jedi. When it showed her, when she looks up and sees the shot launching, my wife said out loud, "Yes." Just watch the trailer. It's just like, I love her. Like I'm so into this character, and so it's
like,
interesting that they're brand new. We don't really know anything about these characters, and I'm so down for all of them. I love them.
Why is it that like when she just like both the male character and the female character, when they just look at the camera and their facial expressions, it's
like, yo, I'm pulling for you guys. Like,
it was almost like a Last of Us situation.
Yeah.
Like there would be times where I would just read Joel and all these expressions and feel so much more than like an entire game's worth of dialogue.
But I think it's going to work really
trash.
well for the exposition in the film that you have these characters that don't know. I don't know, Han. Who are you? And
right.
like, oh, let me tell you who I am. Let me update you on what I've been doing for 30, 40 years. So yeah, I can't wait. Like you recently did. I had a conversation with Mr. Bossman about media blackout. Like I don't know if I've ever done that, but like I'm getting close.
Yeah.
I'm getting to a point.
well, this I think is the final trailer.
I think
this is it.
Yeah, we're gonna get TV spots. I mean, we're gonna get that last little deluge of advertising.
Okay.
Like we're gonna get some crazy TV spot like the weekend before the movie comes out. They're like, oh god, and like I'm not gonna be able to. If I'm in some airport or something and I see that on a TV, I'm not gonna be able to turn away. I'm gonna like, okay. What is Chewie doing in that shot? Oh my god.
Think about how much this trailer respects the fans, though.
It
You know
does,
what I mean?
and that's why I give it a 10, because there's really no spoilers. Like, Kyle Bossman, I am so with him on Media Blackout, but watching this only built the hype and spoiled nothing. I mean, I thought I could not possibly be any more excited for this movie, and this trailer took it to 1,000. It just threw the stratosphere.
I mean, the only thing is just like, you see like Poe getting tortured, you see Leia super sad about something, you see,
Dude, if Chewie dies, I'm walking out. I'm just walking out.
the emotions are high, man. I don't get weepy from any trailer scores, but there it is. And again, apologies that it was late, but it needed to happen. You guys, you perked it up to a 9.9, the aggregate trailer score for the official. I guess the official trailer. This is the Star Wars Episode 7: The Force Awakens trailer, because everything was a teaser before this.
This is nothing against your score. I just want to say, full disclosure, if Huber wasn't here, I'd probably be stingy and be like, oh, it's a 9.8. Like, Huber just brought it out of me, 10.0, and I'm glad that he did.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's the best trailer I've ever seen.
Bringing it out of you is what this trailer does.
Yeah, it does.
Let it in, guys.
2015.
Let it in.
Let it in,
let
guys.
the
Year of
tens in.
dreams.
Let it in. If there are other Star Wars trailers, we'll probably get to them. But if you watch this and listen to our opinions, I appreciate you guys watching. See you in the next episode. Thanks, guys.